Those widowed and orphaned in Rwanda find solace with other survivors, decades after 800,000 killings. In the middle of a civil war, extremists from the majority Hutu ethnic group turned on ethnic Tutsis and moderate Hutus. That after the plane carrying the Rwandan president, a Hutu, was shot down. There were targeted murders, then widespread slaughter. By April 7, 1994, the militias had set to work. This survivor, who recalls that attackers called victims cockroaches and snakes, said most of his family was killed. He barely outlasted 100 days of terror. Now, these California researchers, who oversaw 260 interviews with survivors like him, have written a new book about the atrocities.
Survivors told us that in some instances they were actually the godparents of families and of children. And they couldn't believe that these friends would then, under the orders of the government, turn around and kill them.
It was a societal breakdown. This woman, as a child, saw her mother shot, survived a machete attack, and spent months on the run. The authors had published an earlier book based on testimonies from survivors of the Armenian genocide. 1.5 million Armenians died at the hands of the Turkish Ottoman Empire.
Both of my parents went through the genocide. They both survived. My father was a sole survivor from a family of 9, and my mother, half her family survived.
The story was repeated in Rwanda, but there most killers and victims were Christians divided by ethnic groups, and some Hutu priests helped orchestrate the killings. These researchers say forgiveness is difficult for survivors, and when it comes after personal healing. The first step is telling their stories.
That was extremely important. Everyone who had gone through genocide gave that advice.
The aftermath of the genocide continues. Community groups with family-like structures offer support, but the pain is ongoing.
And it continues at an economic level. It also continues in the sense of trauma.
Regardless of country, there are warning signs, messages of hate.
It's easy to blame a group, find the scapegoat. It's because of the Tutsis. It's because of the Armenians advancing too fast. So that's always a danger sign when we find a group to blame.
Leaving survivors to pick up the pieces. Mike O'Sullivan, VOA News, Los Angeles.